Never ever scared of these whips. Every movement I make with them means something to this horse. So when he's 75 to 100 yards away from me, I make a move with these whips. I know. They mean something to him. Right there, I made a move. He would have come off that mark if I hadn't stopped him right there immediately. But they're a tool like anything else. You give a heart surgeon a scalpel, it's a wonderful tool. You give that same scalpel to Jeffrey Dahmer, it's not such a great tool anymore. But they are like any other tool. Used in the right hands, they're a great tool. You had a question? Yes, ma'am. Him and I and Vigo and the other stallion sat for 3 hours one night in a sandstorm. Why I ride double Navajo blankets every day, because we pulled the Navajos off of this horse and the other horse, and Vigo and I sat under those Navajos for almost an hour and 45 minutes before we could see far enough to try to find where the trucks were. Yes, ma'am, we sat in 2 of them over there. There was sandstorm in the corral. In Hollywood, he was associated with Hidalgo, and I showed him on several commercials and a couple different movies. Nope, that's Hidalgo. We don't want him on our movie. So he came back here after he stood 3 or 4 years now. He's started to get a little work again. But I have 30 of them at home. My Dun Dreamer, all the pretty horses, Black Beauty. I worked on both Black Stallion movies, Black Stallion the TV series. So I had to make a decision. Was it right for this horse to stand in the corral and have nothing done with him? And Carrie come along, and she bought this horse, and it's been a great, great home for him. Yeah.
Find something interesting.
I looked for a particular age group for 2 reasons. I knew we went to that sand, they were going to have to be in tremendous condition. So I wanted them in the very prime of their life. Even him at 3 years old was in Horse Whisperer, he's in Simpatico, he's in all the pretty horses. He's been in a lot of movies. He's now retired. And I have 3 of his sons that are working. You go see the movie Appaloosa, one of his sons, Jeremy Irons, is riding one of his sons in Appaloosa, and also on the movie The Ring. 3 of his sons I used to do the stuff running over the car in The Ring. Yes, ma'am. Well, I said this weekend I got here 2 days before this started. I hadn't seen him in 5 months. Yeah. So it's sometimes a little hard to step in here and How do I pick a horse to be a movie horse? Everybody asks me that. The first thing I do when I walk in a barn and I look at a horse, I go right here. And everybody goes, what is he doing? What I'm looking for is this horse's peripheral eyesight. And I want to know how much he has to turn his head to see me when I move from hip to hip. And I want that big bug eye on them so they can see. The better they see around them, the less stuff can sneak up on them. But also then, you see me when I first started here, I done some turns with this horse. How close can I be to this line of his body and him still see me? The better peripheral vision they have, the gentler they get, I believe. And I've seen it through my career. I have to have great eyesight for what I do with them on the whips. They must look for me and ignore everything else going on at all times. So that's the first thing I look for is vision. And the next thing I look for is this. I want a little bitty short back because that's what gives me the power to rear and do the fights and stuff with him. Next thing is a nice big round hip. And then the next thing is I got to have good legs on them. They're not good legged, I can't use them. But so when I go look at a horse, the very first thing, if he doesn't have vision, I got no use for him. If he's got a decent back, I can build some muscle on him. But he must have a certain structure to him to be able to do what I go do. Every movie is different. I can't say you pick every horse, but I tell people if I'm going to go to a jumping horse show, I don't go pick a miniature pony. But if I'm going to go do a cutting, I don't go pick a 17-hand warm blood horse. So it depends upon the movie, and what I'm going to do is the horses that I pick. Yep.
What was he used for?
What's that?
What was he used for
Before he was on Hidalgo, he was a breeding stallion at College Station, Texas. He won Houston as a yearling, a halter horse. He was unbroke. He was not broke to ride the day I bought him in Texas. He was totally unbroken. 7 weeks later, Viggo Mortensen was riding him as a drunk in the Wild West show. So I'm very proud of that because it took a lot of hard work. Anybody else? Excuse me? Huh? That you have to talk to Carrie about. Alright, you want to put a holder on and then start taking pictures?